We had been dreaming of this vacation for months, with prices so good they seemed to be too good to be true. The brochure had promised stunning views, untouched beaches, and a resort that was the very picture of luxury. We booked it without hesitation, our long-awaited escape from the daily grind. The flight was smooth, and we descended onto the small island. The resort was everything we hoped for. Clean, elegant, and inviting. We were in heaven. After we unpacked, we decided to explore the island. The locals were friendly and smiling as they went about their day. One older man, however, took a moment to speak with us. His face was weathered, his eyes serious as he warned us, "Don't stay the night at the shrines. They're not what they seem." We exchanged a glance, amused more than anything. It sounded like one of those old superstitions meant to spook tourists and give the island a sense of mystery. We nodded politely and continued on our way, letting the beauty of the island distract us from his ominous words, mesmerized by the untouched beauty around us. Then, without warning, came dark clouds. We were caught in a sudden downpour, soaked to the bone within minutes. We needed shelter and fast. The only refuge in sight was one of those shrines the old man warned us about. It was small and ancient looking, with weathered stone and faded carvings. The rain was relentless, pounding the ground with fury. It was only the afternoon, far from nightfall, so we thought it wouldn't hurt to wait out the storm there. Inside, the shrine was spacious, with an odd warmth that made the raging storm outside feel like a distant memory. We sat down, intending to rest just for a moment. The rain drummed steadily on the roof, a soothing lullaby that made my eyes heavy. "Just 5 minutes," I told my wife, but I could tell from her sleepy nod that she felt the same. When we woke up, it was to the darkness, so thick it felt like we were swimming in ink. The rain had stopped, replaced by an eerie silence that was almost suffocating. My phone had shown it was 10:45 p.m., but there was no signal, no way to call for help, and no way to check where we were. I turned to my wife, ready to suggest we head back to the resort, but before I could speak, a sound cut through the silence, a low, scraping noise that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. We froze, straining to hear more, hoping that it was just our imaginations playing tricks. The sound grew louder and closer. It was like something heavy being dragged across the stone floor, accompanied by a horrible sound that made my teeth on edge. I swallowed hard, my heart hammering in my chest. My wife squeezed my hand, her eyes wide with fear. We stood slowly, moving as quietly as we could towards the entrance, but as we neared it, the scraping sound intensified, as if whatever was making it had sensed our movements. Then from the shadows it emerged. It was tall and unnaturally thin. The skin was as dark as midnight. Its eyes glowed a vivid bloody red, piercing through the darkness like hot coals. The creature dragged its long arms across the ground, its fingers ending in razor-sharp claws that screeched against the stone. With every movement, it let out a low gruntal growl that made my blood run cold. We tried to back away, but the creature moved with us, its gaze locked onto us with hunger that was unmistakable. Panic surged through me, and I pulled my wife closer, desperate to protect her from whatever this nightmare was. But there was nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The shrine had become a tomb, and the creature was our executioner. It lunged with a terrifying speed, its claws slicing through air as it reached for us. We screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the dark, the creature's growls drowning out everything else. The pain exploded on my side as its claws slashed me. As I fell to the ground, gasping for breath, my wife's scream was the last thing I heard before everything went black. We never should have ignored the old man's warnings. The shrine wasn't what it seemed. It was a trap,